Hola a todos y bienvenidos a Coffee Break Spanish. Welcome to this live lesson with me, Mark, from Coffee Break Spanish. And I'll be joined virtually by some of our Coffee Break Spanish colleagues. Now, today we are broadcasting live on YouTube, live on Facebook, and we hope that you are joining us wherever you are in the world. I can see certainly that we've got quite a number of people watching, so please do say hello in the comments, and it would be nice to say hola to some of you. Today it is apparently, here in Scotland, the hottest day of the year so far. So it's the perfect day to be in the studio doing some lives. It's hopefully lovely weather outside, and hopefully later on we'll get the chance to enjoy a little bit of that. But for now, what we're going to be doing today is talking through some of the aspects of our Coffee Break Club. Now, the Coffee Break Club is a system which will help you transform your Spanish learning in just 5 or 10 minutes a day. And doing a little bit each day helps you move forward with your language skills. And I think we all get to a certain point where we think, oh, we've reached this point, we can't go further, we need to start going wider. I always think it's a little like walking through a dark, scary forest, and you get to the end of that first forest path when you've got through the beginner section, when you've got through the perhaps the most difficult part of learning a language, getting started with the language. And then you reach a plateau, a beautiful field where there are lots of different paths, and different paths that take you down to perhaps a little river, or paths that take you into another orchard or something like that. And you want to go down all these paths because you want to investigate what each of these paths offer. But then you always come back to the main path and go on a little further. But the thing is, going more slowly along that main path will mean that you're bringing in all this new language that you're accessing by visiting the river, by going into the orchard and so on. And that's exactly what we try to help you with our Coffee Break Spanish content, particularly in the Coffee Break Spanish Club. Now, we receive messages from our learners all the time, and they very often say things like this: I don't have time to attend a traditional class, and an hour-long session with an online tutor is daunting. Absolutely, I think I would be daunted to do a session with an online tutor in one of the languages I'm learning. I need something that will help me be consistent, something I can actually achieve on a daily basis. But I want more than Duolingo. Now, Duolingo and apps like that are great for keeping your hand in with a little bit of practice here and there, but sometimes you need a teacher to explain things and why things are wrong. I can probably find what I need on YouTube, but by the time I've found something useful, I've gone off the notion for learning, or indeed I've become distracted, because there's so much great content on YouTube, but there's so much other stuff on YouTube as well. And very often you do get distracted with those other materials. Some other comments that we've had: I enjoy listening to podcasts for native speakers, but they're too long and I lose motivation after 10 minutes. Losing motivation is a very, very common complaint from many learners, because you need to maintain that motivation in order to keep moving forward. This comment is a copy of the comment from the previous slide, so apologies for that. But if I watch a long lesson or listen to a long podcast, I find I forget a lot of what was covered, and I need something short and effective. So all of these kind of comments are the comments which have encouraged us to put together a product, a service, which will help you address these issues. And that product is the Coffee Break Club. It's an on-demand video library of language lessons. So if you think of something like, I don't know, Apple Fitness Plus or Peloton or something like that, where you've got lots of different types of videos which are there to help you improve your balance, improve your yoga skills, or do a meditation, or do a run or a hike or a cycle or something like that. We wanted to create that idea, but within the realm of language learning. So far, we've put together 1,150 short lessons at different levels, and these are all at an A2, B1, B2 level, so working around that level and really helping you move forward with your language learning, one coffee break at a time. And that's what we like to think we do well here at Coffee Break, helping you move forward with your language learning. Okay, so in this taster session, we're going to be looking at some sample lessons from the club, and you're going to be doing some learning. I'll deal with some Q&A because I'm sure you'll have questions about the club. And if you do have any questions, please do post them in the chat. I can see that we've got some hellos here. I'll get to them in a moment. We'll look at how the Coffee Break Club works on our website and also within the app. But as I said earlier, get ready to learn because that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. And we're going to be learning with many of you. We've got Yurian saying hello. We've got Susan saying hello. Josephine in Oregon saying hello. DW Repund saying hola, Marc. Hola. John Rimmer is saying, soy John de la Isla de Man. Hola, John. We've got Francis joining us in Liverpool and Gordon joining us in Austin, Texas, and Rowan joining us in California. Fantastic. So glad to have you here. Thank you very much for joining us. Muchísimas gracias. Bueno, vamos a aprender algo nuevo. Tenemos que aprender algo nuevo con estos vídeos del Coffee Break Club. You can see here some of the thumbnails from our collection of videos, and the thumbnails represent the different types of videos, the different types of lessons that we have on the club. And it's a fantastic resource of different types of lessons, all of which have a slightly different style of teaching. So some are, for example, are 5-minute translation challenges where you can do some translation challenges within the space of 5 minutes. You know that you've just got 5 minutes, so it's the perfect way to do some learning. And again, coming back to what I said earlier about something like Duolingo, yeah, you can spend 5 minutes on Duolingo, but when you go wrong, you don't necessarily get that feedback. You get told it's wrong, but you don't really know why it's wrong. You've got to work out that for yourself. But with our 5-minute video translations, then you can work your way through the translation, and then the tutor will give you exactly the correct answer and explain all the details of that. And we'll be seeing some examples of these kind of videos a little later on. So lots of different types of videos, and we're going to look at one of them now, and that, I believe, is a dictation video with Pablo, one of our Coffee Break colleagues. So in this video, you might want to grab a pen and paper to do some writing down, because Pablo's going to read out some phrases and you're going to write them down in Spanish. And then we'll talk about how they are written. And in particular, you'll be looking at things like accents and when certain letters are written in different ways, because we know that that is very often what happens in Spanish. You have got multiple ways of writing the same letter. Also, pay attention to your Zs or your Zs and your Cs. Okay, let's move to this video with Pablo. And this is a sample dictation, a pre-recorded dictation from the Coffee Break Club.
Hola, soy Pablo y te doy la bienvenida a The Club. El siguiente video is a dictation practice, and all you need to do is to write down the sentence as you hear them. You'll hear each sentence 2 veces, and then you will have 10 segundos after to check what you have written. Hoy, we are going to focus on one of the trickiest sounds of Spanish, the sound, and its different spellings. Yo estoy listo. ¿Y tú? Pues vamos allá. Frase número 1. Recogí mi habitación para jugar a un videojuego. I'll say it one more time. Recogí mi habitación para jugar a un videojuego. 10 segundos. Se acabó el tiempo. Muy bien. Recogí mi habitación para jugar a un videojuego. The translation is, I tidied my bedroom to play a video game. Couple of things to have a look at here, so let's go to the very beginning. Recogí, so that's the predicate of the verb recoger, okay? And it's spelled with a G, and also notice that the I at the very end has an accent, and that's important because that's telling us the tense that it is. The next word, habitación, we have that word spelled with an H that doesn't really sound because the H is soundless. And then at the end, the O has an accent. Perfecto. Jugar, here you can see the contrast between the different sounds. So the first is spelled with a J and then a G. Okay? And then videojuego, as you may have noticed, in Spanish we write it together as opposed in English that you write it separately. Muy bien. Vamos a por la siguiente frase. Frase número 2. Germán guarda jerseys viejos para regalarlos a la gente. Una vez más. Germán guarda jerseys viejos para regalarlos a la gente. 10 segundos, por favor. Tiempo. Muy bien. Veamos la traducción de Germán guarda jerseys viejos para regalarlos a la gente. The translation is Germán saves old jumpers or sweaters to give them to people. Okay, let's go word by word. First word, Germán, and it's a very Spanish common name for a male, okay? And please don't forget the accent above the letter A. Then moving on, we have guarda, from guardar, which is spelled with a G. And then we have a word that you may recognize, jerseys, which is obviously a borrowing from English, and it's spelled with a J, and it has an accent on the letter E at the very end, okay? Moving on, we have viejos, that G sound, okay, so with a J. And then we have regalarlos. Notice regalarlos, los, the direct object is attached directly into the infinitive. And the last word, gente, which is also spelled with G. Muy bien, vamos a la siguiente frase. Frase número 3. La jirafa y el gorila se giraron para perseguir al guía hasta la jaula. I'll say it one more time. La jirafa y el gorila se giraron para perseguir al guía hasta la jaula. 10 segundos, por favor. Tiempo. Muy bien, veamos. La jirafa y el gorila se giraron para perseguir al guía hasta la jaula. The giraffe and the gorilla turned to chase the guide up to the cage. Couple of things going on here. First, jirafa in Spanish is spelled with a J and not with a G. Moving on, gorilla. So as you have noticed, it's only spelled with one L. Perfecto. We have then giraron, okay, which is spelled with a G. And interesting, this one, perseguir. So that doesn't sound like the previous sound, giraron. It sounds gir. So we need that U between the G and the I to make that sound gi, perseguir. Perfecto. And then we have guía, similar to the previous word, okay? Don't forget the accent above the I, okay? And then we have hasta with the soundless H, and finally jaula with a letter J. Muy bien, perfecto. Y eso es todo por hoy. That's all for today. Espero que you have found today's dictation very, very useful. It wasn't easy, but I know you have done it just perfectly. Y espero verte muy, muy pronto. Adiós y happy coffee breaking.
Muchas gracias, Pablo. I hope that you enjoyed that and that you did enjoy that whole idea of practicing the difference between the ch sound of G when it's before E and I, but obviously that same sound is coming with a J sound, the ha, ho, hu, and so on. So it's really a good way of practicing that with some dictation. Now, we have got some testimonials to share with you from our Coffee Break Club members. Here's one Coffee Break Club member saying, "The club makes learning fun. I feel like I'm learning with friends and I feel part of a community." And we do actually have a community area within the club too. And this is where we run challenges of achieving different videos over a certain period of time, or indeed some exercises and activities where you can put your Spanish to the test with some discussions and so on. Now, as I say, I'm here to answer your questions. So if you do have any questions about the club, please do post them in the comments. If we could possibly just mute my mic for 1 second because I need to... Sorry about that. I have been talking all afternoon and I've still got a fair bit to do, but apologies for that. So I'm here to answer your questions. If you do have any questions, please post them in the chat and I'd be more than happy to answer them. Now, talking of questions, we've obviously had some questions by email and on social media today already about the club as soon as we announced that we were doing this sort of special promotion of the club this week. And one of the biggest questions that many of our community ask is about the subscription for the Coffee Break Club. Is it for one language or for multiple languages? Well, in actual fact, the Coffee Break Club subscription gives you access to all of the Spanish videos, but also all of the French, German and Italian club videos too. So it's a fantastic way to improve not just one language, but work on another language too. Now, in terms of the pricing of the club, well, as I said, we've got a special offer this week where there's 30% off, and it's only available this week. So make sure if this is something that interests you, that you do go ahead with this for this week. So the normal price is $19.99 per month. But this week, that's down to $13.99. So that's 30% off your first month. And that would mean that at the end of the first month, you would go back up to $19.99. However, there's an even better offer than that, and that is on our annual offer. It's 30% off, but it's off every payment. So you pay today $139.99 rather than $199, and that is what you would then pay again in 1 year's time with 30% off forever. So it's locking in that lifetime value of $139 for the club. Now, if you're in the UK and you're thinking in terms of pounds, then it is £110 or thereabouts, which works out roughly as about 30 pence per day. And you can't get a lot for 30 pence. Okay, now you may have noticed that these prices are in dollars, and we sell the Coffee Break Club in dollars. Let me just go back here. Because the site that we use, the platform that we use for the Coffee Break Club is based in the US. So the costs are in dollars, but you can obviously pay in whatever currency you pay in dollars, but that would be converted to whichever is your own currency at the time of purchase. How does it work? Can you cancel anytime? Absolutely. So if you sign up today, you really enjoy it, you want to continue, then obviously you let that subscription continue. It recurs every month or every year. But indeed, if you prefer not to, if you are the type of person who doesn't really like having an ongoing subscription, you can subscribe today and then you can cancel tomorrow, but you'll still have access to the materials for the duration of your membership, whether that be a month or a year. We've already talked about using any currency. Okay, we're going to look at another example of a video, so another lesson now. And this lesson is part of our Coffee Break With series. And it's a great series because it's just a chance to have a quick coffee and chat about an aspect of the language. So we're going to join Concha in the Coffee Break studio for a Coffee Break with Concha. Let's have a look at this video where she's talking about 3 subjunctive triggers. Now, I should say that if you're not yet familiar with the subjunctive, don't worry. That's something that is covered at a slightly higher level in the Spanish learning program. So you can learn about it, get a feel for it today with this Coffee Break with Concha.
Hola, me llamo Concha y te doy la bienvenida a Coffee Break Spanish Club. Hoy te traigo un poquito de gramática que espero que encuentres muy útil. Today I bring you a little bit of grammar in this A Coffee Break With video, and I hope you find it very useful. Así que toma tu taza de café o té porque vamos a empezar con el contenido de hoy. Entonces, hoy tenemos 3 expresiones que usan subjuntivo. Okay, we will be looking at 3 triggers for the subjunctive, and the good thing is that they all follow the same rule. Okay, so we'll see the trigger and then a few examples so that you get to grips with what I mean by they follow the same rule. So the rule that they follow is that they are followed by the subjunctive when the action happens in the future. Vale, vamos a ver las expresiones y así vas a entender un poquito mejor. So the first one is cuando. Okay? Cuando is followed by the subjunctive when the action happens in the future. Por ejemplo, cuando vaya a Madrid, visitaré el Prado. So when I go to Madrid, the action of going to Madrid happens in the future. And that's why we use the subjunctive there, okay? Because we have cuando, which is a trigger, and the action happens in the future. Cuando vaya a Madrid, visitaré el Prado. When I go to Madrid, I will visit el Prado. Vale, esa es la primera expresión. La segunda expresión es tan pronto como, and this can be translated as soon as, ¿vale? Vamos a ver un ejemplo. Tan pronto como salgas de casa, llámame. So, as soon as you leave the house, call me. So, tan pronto como salgas, that is the subjunctive of the verb to leave. Okay, the verb salir is irregular in the present subjunctive. So, tan pronto como salgas de casa, because the action happens in the future, we use the subjunctive. Vale, perfecto. Pues esa es la expresión número 2. Y la expresión número 3 es una vez. Vamos a verla en un ejemplo. Una vez llegues a esa calle, gira a la izquierda. So this can be translated as once you get to that street, turn left. Okay? So yeah, we can translate una vez the same way as we say in English once. And if the action happens in the future, then we use the subjunctive. Vale, ¿bien? Yo creo que se entiende bastante bien, así que vamos a practicar un poquito. Now, for this translation challenge, you may want to grab pen and paper because, yeah, like I said, we are going to do a little translation challenge. I am going to give you a sentence in English, and this sentence is going to have a subjunctive trigger. Now, you need to translate the sentence into Spanish, so that's why you might want to grab pen and paper because you need to translate the trigger, you need to translate the rest of the sentence, but it's important that you conjugate the verb in the subjunctive properly, okay? So I'll give you the sentence in English, we'll read it together, then I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about the translation, then we'll read it again in English, and then we'll see the translation in Spanish, ¿vale? Okay, so your sentence is, as soon as you finish the exam, you can go out. Now, I want you to use the plural form of you in this case, okay? I'll give you a couple of seconds. And let's read the sentence one more time. As soon as you finish the exam, you can go out. Remember the plural form for you. Pues vamos a ver la traducción. Tan pronto como terminéis el examen, okay, that is the first part. As soon as you finish the exam, tan pronto como terminéis el examen, that is if you have used the vosotros form, okay? But you can also translate this as tan pronto como terminen el examen, okay, if you're using the ustedes form. You can go out can be translated as podéis salir if you're using vosotros, or pueden salir if you are using ustedes. So, tan pronto como terminéis o terminen el examen, podéis o pueden salir. Vale, muy bien, buen trabajo. That is everything for today. Eso es todo por hoy. Espero que este vídeo te ayude a entender un poquito mejor cómo usar el subjuntivo. Pues yo soy Concha y te veo muy pronto en otro vídeo de Coffee Break Spanish Club. Hasta entonces te deseo Happy Coffee Breaking.
Muchas gracias, Concha. There you have it. A lovely Spanish subjunctive triggers video from Concha, looking at 3 situations where you use the subjunctive when it's kind of related to the future, when things are going to happen but you don't quite know whether they will happen because they haven't happened yet, if that makes sense. Okay, let's take a look at another testimonial from another club user. I love the fact that I can go to the platform and easily find and pick content that's right for my level of energy and curiosity on a given day. There's no excuse not to practice consistently when the options are so flexible and the content is so engaging. And the presenters are also delightful. Muchas gracias. Okay, what we're going to do now is have a look at the Coffee Break Club website and also the Coffee Break TV app, which also is another way to access the materials. First of all, if we come to the website here, you should be able to see this. Now, here on the website at the top, we've got some of the recent videos. So there's a new video from Concha, Donde me encuentro hoy. There is a club update. We do club updates regularly and so on. We can see the other language videos there. And again, you get access to all of these French, German, Spanish and Italian videos on the club. If we scroll down, we can see the Start Here section. So we've put together a Spanish pathway that will help you get started with the club, an explanation of the club, and then some examples of the types of videos in the club. And you can see we're looking at similar types of videos to the ones that we are sharing today with you in the different areas, the different topics that are covered. If we just come back and scroll down a little more, we can see here that we've got the actual Coffee Breaks Club, the Coffee Break Club Spanish videos. Go into these, and this is our collection of all of the Spanish videos that are in the club. Some of them are grayed out. You can see that this one is grayed out. That simply means I've watched it already, so that I know that I don't need to go back and watch that one. Of course, I can go back and watch it if I want. I can just tap on it, and it will play in the video window there. We can add it to our favourites, and we can share the video and so on, and add some comments and interact with Concha there within the club. If we've got a question, Concha will get back to us. So there are lots and lots of different videos here as we scroll down the videos, add to the bottom of the collection, and there are literally hundreds of videos here in Spanish to help us move forward with our Spanish in 5, 10 or 15-minute lessons. Now, we can also search for a particular topic. So we might want to search about, I don't know, the imperfect tense. Let's do imperfect here. Imperfect and search. And then you can see here we've got a number of different videos. We've got some SIP videos. These are study, investigation and practice videos, SIP. And if we go into this one, we'll see this is a video about the imperfect, a kind of introduction to the imperfect. And Concha invites us to practice this. So one Coffee Break Club user here has tried it out. Hacía mucho calor en la playa. And of course, show replies. So Concha has responded there within the system. So you can get that kind of feedback within the system from our tutors. And we can also filter the videos. So if we want to see, for example, all the videos that are just around 5 minutes, if we've only got 5 minutes available, then we can quickly filter the videos to our 5-minute videos, or we can choose, actually, those are 5-minute videos that have got something to do with the imperfect. So if we click that one there, we've got another video with Annabelle here, 5 words to use this summer. I'm very curious about this one. I want to know what the 5 words I need to use this summer from Annabelle. So that is the Coffee Break Club website. We also have the Coffee Break TV app, and in the Coffee Break TV app it's very similar in terms of the experience, but there are a few additions in the app. Obviously we can still access the same videos, so we click on the 5 words to use this summer. We can start watching it here.
Hola, yo soy Annabel y te doy la bienvenida.
And obviously we can do the same with other videos. So if we go into this Walk, Talk and Learn video and play. Hola y bienvenidos a otro episodio de Walk, Talk and Learn. This is where we walk around the town, we talk about the language that we see around us, and we can hopefully all learn some interesting Spanish. Now, so very straightforward to use. One of the benefits of using the Coffee Break TV app is that we can also download the videos and store them on our device for 1 month. So for example, if you're going to be going on a flight, for example, and you want to download some content, then you can download all the content that you like there and store it, and you can organize it in playlists and so on. And that's only on the app. You can't do that on the website. You can just do that on the app, but it allows you to keep the materials on your device. And one other thing to mention is that you can also access this app on your phone. It's available for Android, for iOS, and also for Apple TV. But we know that many listeners use the app on their phone and start a video and go out for a walk and listen to the video because it continues to play while you're out walking. So that's another possible use of the content. Okay, let me think. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask your questions in the chat. We've got a question here. Can I use this opportunity to renew my current annual subscription ending mid-August? So I don't think this will work to get the 30% off. You can't apply the coupon that is currently active to a subscription in August. However, when it comes to August, get in touch with us and we'll be able to sort something out. But it's a little tricky to apply a current coupon to a future renewal, if that makes sense. But we hope that you're enjoying it. We're very delighted that you are interested in renewing your subscription. And Yurian is asking a massive question. ¿Cuál es la forma más rápida de aprender un idioma? What's the quickest way to learn a language? The quickest way to learn a language is to have the language be the language that you want to learn, so that you've got the motivation and you really want to make progress with that. But it depends how much time you've got available, and it depends on your own interest in the language and your own sort of dedication and how much time you can spend on it. I would certainly say a combination of different things, so as many podcasts as you can listen to, and do something in a structured way. So you're following a course, for example, but also supplement that with other materials like our club videos or books or films and so on, a whole range of materials. But it's about motivation, it's about time. So difficult question there to answer in a very short space of time, but I hope that helps, Julianne. Okay, we're going to look at another video. This time it's a little collection of different types of videos, and it gives you a flavour of the different types of content we have on the Coffee Break Club. So let's take a look at that little collection now.
When talking about like the position of the pronouns, and in the previous example was a reflexive verb, so we are using a pronoun. When it's like tener que or deber, those two structures, we are going to have the pronoun at the beginning of them. So we start with the pronoun, then tener que or deber, and we finish with the infinitive.
Hola, Anabel. Estoy tomándome un delicioso arroz negro cerca de la costa. Estoy cansada después de caminar por el barrio gótico, pero ha sido precioso. También he visto muchas construcciones modernistas, como la Casa Batlló. Después voy a pasear por la Rambla y mañana voy a visitar la Sagrada Familia. ¿Sabes dónde me encuentro hoy?
Es posible que, it's possible that, sea, that's our special verb, our subjunctive, it is el mejor momento del día, the best moment of the day. So if you enjoy breakfast, then perhaps it is indeed the best moment of the day. But why is it sea and not just es? It is, normally would be translated as es. Well, it's all to do with that trigger, es posible que. Let's go back to the studio and talk a little more about that. Volvamos al estudio.
Gracias, Mark. Para mí, sin duda, es el mejor momento del día.
Here we have 3 nouns and no articles are included. So you don't need to write el or la. just the nouns themselves. See how many you can figure out in 10 seconds. Here you have your anagrams and your 10 seconds. Muy bien, let's see.
Los otros 2 dormitorios cuentan con mesa y silla de escritorio, así como con una librería pequeña.
Pues muy interesante, un texto muy interesante y el piso me parece muy interesante también.
Habrá que ver el precio primero.
Ah, sí, claro. Let's go back through the text now and we'll talk through each sentence and see the interesting vocabulary and grammar there.
Todas las mañanas tomo una taza de café. Okay, so starting with every morning. We would say in Spanish, todas las mañanas, which in reality is translated as all the mornings. I have, in this case, well, you normally translate the verb to have for tener in Spanish, but in this case, we're using the verb tomar, which is a verb that we can use when we talk about having a drink or having some food as well.
This construction is romper a hacer algo. Now, romper normally means to break, okay? But when we combine it with a and another infinitive, it takes on a new meaning. It means to suddenly start doing something. Let's look at our first example. Rompió a llover. Rompió a llover. So, let's think about what this means. Rompió is the preterite of romper, and it means literally it broke. But when we think about it with this construction, rompió a llover, it means it suddenly started raining. So the rain suddenly came on and all of a sudden you got soaked.
Todo el mundo sabe que los humanos y los animales pueden enfermar. Lo que no tanta gente sabe es que las plantas también pueden contraer enfermedades. La unidad de cuarentena de patatas del Reino Unido es uno de los muchos centros de cuarentena de plantas de todo el mundo.
And in this video, we're going to be doing a translation challenge. That means I'm going to give you some sentences in English, and I'd like you to translate these into Spanish. You'll have 10 seconds for each sentence, but of course, if you want, you can pause the video if you need a little more time. You might want to grab a pen and some paper in order to take some notes or indeed to work through the challenges yourself. But if you're ready, si estamos listos, vamos a empezar. So there you have some examples of the types of videos that we have in the Coffee Break Club. And I hope that that has been useful to get a feel for the different types of learning that you could do if you were to sign up to become a member. And of course, if you do want to sign up to become a member, then you can do so this week with a massive discount of 30%, saving you $60 over the course of the year if you wanted to sign up for our yearly subscription. Now, a key question is how to access this, because if you just go to the Coffee Break TV website, you'll not see the special bonus, the bonus cost at the moment, the discount codes at the moment. You need to go through our special page, and that can be found at coffeebreaklanguages.com/summer2024, or you can scan that code as you see it on the screen there. Now, that will take you to our website. I'm going to show you our website in just a moment. So by doing that, you'll be taken to the website, and we can kind of give you a feel for what is involved in the website. So I think we can switch over, so heading over to the website, you might recognise that person there. You can click on the Unlock 30% discount now. That will take you to the pricing bit, but obviously we've got some information about the club. What do you want to learn today? Which kind of activity would you like? And how long is your coffee break? 3 simple questions that will open up your opportunities to practice your language skills. So these are the practice sessions, these sample sessions. We're right in the middle of the Spanish one at the moment. We're just about to start an Italian one pretty soon. And we can see that there's lots of information, further examples on the website, and the countdown with the details of the pricing, and of course, crucially, the actual buttons to buy your subscription. So here, choose your path to fluency. You can either go for a monthly membership, which will allow you to save 30% on your first monthly payment, or you can go for our annual membership and save 30% on all future payments. and by clicking on the button there, you'll be taken to the checkout to make your payment, and you'll have immediate access to these 1,000+ videos to start learning and improving your language skills today. So as I say, if you head to the link there, you'll be able to access that. We've got a question from Anthony, who's asking, does the Coffee Break Academy produce reading for A1, A2, A3? Not 100% sure what you mean there, Anthony, but we do have lots of reading materials within the club. So the reading materials are in video format. The club is a video format. And so we have, in fact, you saw some of there with our reading texts that are 5-minute reading texts. You're working through a simple text. And again, those texts are available at different levels. So we've got reading videos which are around the A2 level, reading videos which are B1. So we go in the European Framework of Reference, we go A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. So our texts, the materials, the source materials are A2, B1, B2 in the Coffee Break Club. We do have other reading materials. We've got a special reading club, which is a different product, obviously, from the video club that we're offering here. That's not currently available, but if you're on our mailing list, then you will be able to find out more about that. And if you want to join our mailing list, then head to coffeebreaklanguages.com/newsletter. If you have any further questions, please do post them in the comments. Thank you for joining us today. As I said, we will be going on with an Italian club taster where you can do a little Italian learning with our Italian colleagues. And that is happening at 5 o'clock UK time, or 12 noon Eastern. And that's going to be coming up just after this on our Coffee Break Languages YouTube channel, and obviously our Coffee Break Italian YouTube channel and our Coffee Break French. Not our Coffee Break French. What's the point in putting an Italian video on our Coffee Break French Facebook page? On our Coffee Break Italian Facebook page. It's been a long day. Stuart's asking, I hear a lot about A1, B2, etc., but how do you know which level you're at? Good question. So, Stuart, with it's called the European Framework of Reference for Languages. And A1 is a beginner's level. So if you've recently started learning the language, then you would be at an A1 level. Indeed, some people or some courses describe an A0 level, which is your sort of access level, your absolute beginner level. But at A1 level, you can start to use the language in transactional situations, ordering a coffee, asking for directions, simple expressions, simple conversations. By the time you get to A2 level, then you can extend the ways in which you ask for things. You can understand more in the answers given. Of course, it doesn't just involve speaking and listening. It also involves reading and writing. So each of the skills have different levels as well. And sometimes it's quite difficult to say, oh, I am at an A2 level or a B1 level, because you might well be at an A2 level in your listening, but an A1 level in your writing, or a B1 level in your speaking, but perhaps a C1 level in your comprehension. For example, with my Norwegian, I understand a lot more than I can actually say. So I'm quite happy reading simple articles, but I struggle to speak. So I'm at a higher level in my reading than I am in my speaking. We typically don't use the A1, A2, B1, B2 and so on. We have levels. So with Coffee Break Spanish, our level 1 course will cover A1 content. It'll also dip into A2 content as well. Our level 2 course will be around the A2 level but dip into B1 content in certain aspects. And likewise, as we proceed through our levels 1 to 4, we cover different aspects of the language at different levels. I hope that's an explanation for you, Stuart, and that it makes sense. Ultimately, if you're feeling about an intermediate level, if you've been doing it for some time but want to continue on, then I would definitely say that the Coffee Break Club is something that you could consider. Bueno, ya está. He hablado demasiado. I think I've spoken too much today. Me duele la garganta un poquito. I've got a bit of a sore throat, so I'm going to finish off there. Thank you very much for staying with me. I hope you've enjoyed this session and that you've learned something, because ultimately that's what it's all about. A little bit of learning every day goes a long way. Muchísimas gracias, como siempre, And if you are interested in taking advantage of our coffee break club special offer, then this is the week to do it. I hope to see you in the club. For now, muchas gracias y hasta la próxima. Y happy coffee breaking!